Well, there we go. I think
Hello.
we're live. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Szara,
And
and
I'm
that's
Helen,
Helen.
and together,
We're committed parenting. So
yeah,
we have conversations that our mission is families thrive. Kids
it
get
really is.
heard. Yeah, kids get to be heard.
Yeah,
Families get to have connection.
and parents really know themselves as powerful and satisfied in this and connected, right? Connected. Yeah.
Yeah. And so each month we have a conversation inside of a commitment to try on some commitments to see what becomes available. And this month, being February, we've taken on the commitment love. So we have had a few conversations about love already this month, and it has been fabulous. We had the amazing Stephanie join us to really just look at the whole pillars that love brings to children, their behavior, connection, and family dynamics. We've looked at last week, we really looked at the love languages and the whole idea of, we do receive and express love differently
Mm,
between us. And today we're here to have another conversation inside of the commitment love.
yeah. And this week's conversation is really about our love tank and how do we fill it up?
Yeah. And it's interesting because we were talking about this, and what I can really see, like, when we think of like a love tank, it's like when we have the experience of being loved up, when we have the experience that we're loved, or
Mm,
our kids, our children, the people around us, our partners, even, or anybody in our life has the experience of being loved, they show up very differently. They show up free and alive in a way that connection is really available.
yeah.
And what the first place I went is like, how does it look when that's not filled up? Like, it got me thinking. It's like, wow, because oftentimes, like, as a parent, we can be, you know at least I can sometimes be quick, like, okay, like, we're heading here and we're doing this, and like it can be get a bit mechanical and driven or agenda focused, because there's things to do and things to accomplish and things to get
Mm,
done in the day. Um and then sometimes, kids will react or respond accordingly to that kind of method behind them. And there's a behavior that will show up. And like with my youngest, there's some extra sensitivities around his environment. When his environment's looking a certain way, he can feel more unsettled. But I just really got present to, like, I never actually look at this love tank idea. I never actually even look at, like, where is he feeling loved? Is he feeling filled
mm,
up with
mm.
connection?
Really good, sir.
And and it's like, wow, it's almost like the behavior is correlated to where his love tank is at.
Mm,
I'm just really present to that because I'm so clear, like, I'm really crystal clear of a certain day the other day where, there was something to do. We had to get out and to get water. The water store was going to close at a certain time, and we really needed some water on the boat, or at least I had it. We really needed, like, at this time, by this time. And he really didn't want to come.
mm,
And instead of really hearing him or getting his communication or anything, it was like, it was a force. There was like, nope, you're coming into the car. We're going. Like,
mm,
you get to just, this is part of the family duty. So buck up, buttercup, and here off we go. And the behavior happened then accordingly, that he was not happy. He expressed
yeah.
that vividly. And it was kind of a hell experience. Like, it was
Mm,
really not fun, and it really degraded the connection that we generally have.
mm,
And it's interesting because at no point did I even look, where is his love tank? Because really, at
mm.
that, if I look, he wasn't having the experience of being loved or
Yeah,
heard.
yeah.
He wasn't feeling like he was belonging or part of a family. He wasn't having the experience that it was a safe or connected environment.
Hmm.
And, like, imagine if I just in that moment oriented or like focus had my attention on that love tank.
Yeah,
Like,
really
what
good.
would then be available? Because I can see times where, like, those kind of events have worked, or those kind of things have worked. But
Yes.
when my attention was on, yeah, getting him, like, yeah, I get you really don't want to do this. I get that. And I love you. And I see that, like, when I communicate the love and the connection,
Mm,
it's almost like it gives a resilience for whatever comes throughout the
really
day.
good. Yeah. And I would, just the shorthand version is almost like, it's not like love isn't present, but in reality, for him, the experience was that love wasn't present. His hand wasn't up, right? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like
just,
it really
yeah, I
seems.
could just, yeah, sorry.
No,
You can move
I'm
on.
just really present to like, wow, what a great thing to take on. Like this conversation. It's like without us doing, this monthly theme and love, I wouldn't normally go to this conversation.
Yeah. No,
That's what I'm just really present to. Yeah.
yeah, no, and for me too, because I had two really profound conversations with one of my kids. That, they're teens, and there's like stuff that needs to get done, and they were feeling really pressure on what they needed to get done and panicky. And it's that thing, like, I just want to go in and fix and tell them how to, like, get this stuff sorted. Be fine with what you're doing. You're doing great. That should be enough. And right in that moment, that kid was not heard, and I know for them the experience was that love wasn't present. That's why I was just saying, when you said was there, I know love wasn't present in that moment. And it was just like actually taking stock in a moment and saying, jeepers, it's the same conversation though, right? Without this conversation of love tank being present for me, like, in a moment I was like, you're really, really not being heard by me, and you're already stressed, you already have a test coming up, you're really worried about it. Yeah, it's interesting because it's the same space, right? Love wasn't present for her in that moment. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And
And
I caught it. I caught it. So then I had to say, but I had to literally say, okay, I missed this. I'm stepping back over here. Hang 10. Okay. I want you to know, blah, blah, blah. And in that moment, we restored,
mm,
that love being present. Yeah.
yeah, that love tank got filled up. Like it actually got attention put to that love tank.
Yeah.
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 And it's interesting because it's like with love, like there isn't a reaction. Like if with love, like communication can be heard, like the words
Yeah.
can be heard, the intention can be heard. And without
Yeah.
love, there can be like a defensiveness or a reaction, or like I have an experience of the prickliness,
I love
and
it.
and it's
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
love really creates an environment. That's what I hear. Like love creates an
Really good.
environment where connection and families can thrive.
Yeah, really. And sorry, so I've got two things I want to say. One is love doesn't always look like the mushy gushy stuff, that
Mm.
soft melt your heart stuff. Because that's what I always used to think. Love only looked like that. But it doesn't actually. Love looks like many forms. And then I don't
Yeah.
know, how do we know when it's present, right? How do we know when that love
Well,
tank is built up?
I love what Stephanie brought to the call when we had a call with her.
Hmm.
And Stephanie, she's a behavioral therapist, and she works with RDI, what's it, relationship development integrative, anyways, RDI. And what she really brought, love does come in many forms. Sometimes love is that boundary.
Yeah.
Sometimes love is that, straight communication. Sometimes love
Yes.
is the mentorship,
Yes.
and it's like, and it can always come through the filter of love, so that
Yes.
so that the child really gets that it's in
Yeah.
their interest that this is here. And I think of
Exactly.
that with like some of my teenage boys, right? Like um for them, boundary actually is love, right?
Yeah.
Like when it's like, hey, I
Yeah.
love our relationship too much here to have you talk to me like that, because I'm going to be left,
Yeah.
like I'm going to be left less. I'm going to be left like you don't love me, and I know that's not true, and I
Yeah.
know that you're going to have a negative experience about yourself. So
Yeah.
no, that doesn't work. Like I love you, and I know you love me, and I request you have some kinder language with me.
Yeah. Really good.
and 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 so like it looks like from an outsider in that moment, it might look like even oppositional interaction. It might even look like a firmness that's in there, and there is a firm and groundedness, but it's from love. Like it's really
Yeah.
from like, there's
Yeah.
no way I'm letting our relationship
Yeah.
be hurt or severed or here right
Yeah.
now. Sorry. and
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're totally allowed to be upset and mad at me. Like I
Yeah.
love you, totally have full permission to hate me and be upset and stomp your feet and slam the door, and I'm not going to let that taint who I know you are.
Yeah. Well, and it actually brings up something I heard earlier, is the filling of the love tank is just not, it's not only external to us, to giving to our kids that experience, because I think probably some of the harder part is actually loving ourselves in that same way.
Filling up our own love tank.
Yeah. And recognizing who we are, you know, and loving ourselves, all the wobbly bits, all the sparkly bits, all the, you know, knobbly bits, I don't know, but all of it, like all the spiky bits, all of it.
Yes. Yeah, because when my love tank, that's actually, oh, that's so true. That really is. When my love tank is filled up, when I have the experience of, solid and grounded in
I think we lost you for a second.
love for myself, just got paused for a second. And the love my family has for me, I yeah, I show up a certain way. Like I'm
Yeah.
free to be with my family and my kids. I'm free to be myself. I'm free to kind of express. I'm free to be with everyone and be in connection. And anytime that's not there, there is like a guarded or a defensiveness or a like aloneness in the matter.
Yes, really good. And aloneness. So I also hear the other part of the inquiry is, how do we fill our own love tank? You know, what is it going to take for us to fill our love tank? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Awesome.
what we get to take on this week. It's like for yourself, how, like, what does fill your love tank? Like, what could be like a go-to list? Like, I love to have little lists on my phone. And like, I even hear like discovering what are all the things that fill my love tank? How can I have my love tank full so I can be available and with my kids and my family?
Yeah. Brilliant.
And like, I love what Amanda created when we had her on the call, that 10 minutes of focus time with your child each day. It's like, how could each day you be with your child and like fill up their love tank? How is their love tank filled? What kind of things would you want to take on to fill up them so that they're just so solid and secure in your love, their love, and the family love?
You know, it just brings up this conversation I had with a mom this week, who has a new child in her family, and the child was away for the weekend. And how do you reestablish the love tank being filled up in the way that it occurs in her family? And it was really interesting because she did like really great things. She made like the favorite food for this kid, and I was just like, what would it be like, what would it look like for that kid to know the minute they walked out of one house to her house, what would it look like to know that her love tank was about to be filled by this person, right? It was really fun thinking about it. I don't know, but like that's like, it's the inquiry of like, how do we get to do this thing, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. Like the power of love. Ooh,
Oh,
we get to be the power of love.
yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Totally.
great. Well, thank you everyone for being in this conversation with us. Thank you for
Yeah.
the exploration of love, because like it has just brought so much value to myself, my family, and my life. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
me
it's
too.
been amazing. So
It
thank you.
really, why do we do this? Because we get to have this amazing life where we get to be in the inquiry of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching, share with a friend. Take it on yourself. Like this conversation, it sounds so simple in a lot of ways, like there isn't a lot of mechanics behind it. But when we come from our commitment, when we really come from a commitment and we ground ourselves there, wow, it's incredible what it makes available for you and your family. It's incredible the kind of connection and love that gets
Yeah.
to be there, and that wholeness that gets to
Mhm.
be there for us parents and moms and dads.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my request is go share with a friend so that
Me
they get to
too.
be in this conversation and get the what's your commitment and the power of coming from your commitment.
Yeah, I second that. Go share with a friend. Go fill their love tank like that.
Yeah, like that. Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Goodbye. See you
Bye.
next week.